KMBest podcast, I received perhaps the most surprising message I've ever received in my life from Gerry about 2 minutes before we started recording, which was, I already have SnapFan open. This is crazy. Like, not only is Gerry prepared for an episode where we review the cards, that is 2 podcasts in a row that are going to be on topic and about Marvel Snap. You guys need to not get used to this. This is like a blue moon, once in a lifetime kind of like everything lined up perfectly. We'll be back to talking about God knows what in a week. But today we are actually a Marvel Snap podcast.
Do you know why that is?
Why we are a Marvel Snap podcast? What is that in
this instance? In these previous 2 weeks, it is that I've had Adderall. That's why. Actually, I am a functioning human being because I have my medication. That's all it is.
That does explain a lot, actually. You've been really on. I mentioned it last episode. You seemed really up for it this episode. I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but yeah, no, that's crazy. You have your medication. I'm also on a new prescription. I got on those fat boy drugs. I got on one of those sketchy websites and was like, send me Ozempic. And it turns out they just do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wegovy?
Yeah. You could just like get them to send a pill to your house. You fill out like a questionnaire and they're like, here is prescribed medication. It's insane. It doesn't seem like the kind of thing that you should be able to do, but that's what I'm doing.
Who's on the other side of that is
presumably a doctor at some point?
Oh, come on.
No. Anyway, I do think we did promise a Marvel Snap podcast, not a podcast about the various ways in which we are burning our future for current rewards. But I do think that you could reasonably describe a Marvel Snap podcast in such terms. Anyway, we are going to review the upcoming season. This is Guardians Greatest Hits number 2, second Guardians theme season, and they are really dipping into people I have never heard of. The Guardians crew is definitely suffering some Glupshido syndrome here, where
look,
it's like, who's this guy? Sure, yeah.
I'll say that once Marvel goes into space, that is definitely not my area of expertise. Like, that is
agree.
All the homies that I ain't never heard of. And the only reason I even know much, if anything, about Guardians is because of the stupid MCU. That's it.
I've read one good space Marvel, and it was X-Men Red, which was...
Sure. Like, Shi'ar is fine, but, like, it's only fine in that I forgot Gladiator was a member of the Shi'ar. You know, he's so forgettable. He's just a Superman clone. Who cares?
I mean, I think he's like a good Superman riff, but yeah, sure. I actually really hate the Shi'ar. One of the things that happened when I was reading a lot of like Claremont X-Men was every time they'd go into space, I'd be like, Jesus Christ, I have to deal with this crap again. It's the Brood, it's Deathbird, it's Scott Summers' deadbeat ass dad and his crew
Corsair
of dork ass losers. Like, say what you will about the Guardians, at least they aren't Corsair in them, you know? Even though they kind of very clearly are based on Corsair in them.
That one legitimately is like unironic, like went out to get a pack of cigarettes and couldn't come back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he went out to get a pack of cigarettes or like do a test flight or something, and he ended up a space pirate or whatever, who is in every portrayal impossible to discern in age from Scott Summers. Like, at most, you would say Scott is 30 and Corsair is 36, based on how they are drawn.
Yeah.
Like, there is absolutely just like, oh, that's my dad. No explanation for why he hasn't aged, by the way. He just didn't.
And then you skip to like 60 with Cable, right?
Yeah.
Like, they don't know how to draw like a 50-year-old, I feel like.
Or a 40-year-old, apparently.
Well, yeah.
Anyway, we do have several cards that are characters I recognize, including the Season Pass card, Star-Lord, Master of the Sun.
I recognize this one only because it's a character that they've already done. 4/5 on reveal. Next turn, you get +1 energy for each turn you've ended with unspent energy. This gains that much power.
All right. So I think a lot of people who talk about this, they're going to talk about high evolutionary. When other people zig, I zag. Here is my zag for this card. My zag for this card is that in your Man Spider combo deck, this is Fallen One number 2.
Oh.
In your Man Spider combo deck, you skip or play off curve turns 1 through 3. You play Symbiote Spider-Man on 4. You play this on 5 and activate Symbiote Spider-Man, 14 energy, final turn, 20 power guy.
That's a lot.
Yeah. It's a big guy. And having a second copy of just a guy that does that and lets you do dumb stuff with Man Spider. I said, this might be... I genuinely do feel like I really called this one on Man Spider. When Man Spider came out, I was like, look, this card isn't good now. But it like, at some point, we will be in a less Shadow King heavy meta, and this will be like the combo deck that shits on everything, right? It is already a good combo deck. Already very good. And I do think this probably makes it better. Like, in terms of combo decks, it's one of the few that does not care about being a Magic deck, which gives it really great positioning. Shadow King isn't very good right now. It's really only losing to Cosmo. Genuinely. That's like, when you play the deck, that's the card you lose to. Or sometimes your deck doesn't work. And you know what really fixes the part where your deck doesn't work? Is when you have a second copy of the Fallen One. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Oh, man. I'm pretty sure my games played with Man Spider is currently at 0. But... You're making me want to play the game, man. How dare you?
Yeah, it does seem pretty compelling, doesn't it? 14 energy, a guy you like, you literally just do that into Man Spider Taskmaster, and it's like, oh, 40-40. What beats that? Pretty good.
Yeah, I am sort of a numbers guy, where it's like, oh, number go up, good brain chemicals, etc. But not in the 40-40. Where you get me is the 14 energy. I'm like, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing you can do with 14 energy is like Fin Fang Foom in a Taskmaster. That's some beast mode stuff right there.
Yeah. And it leads to me making big number in power, but that's, for whatever reason, I don't know. That's just not exciting.
I feel like what they need to do is make Mobius, but for having extra energy.
That's pretty narrow, but yes.
I mean, yeah, it's just like we're getting to a point where it's like like, I don't know, maybe you could have one extra energy. You know, like you could be Electro, you could have Luna Snow, you could have one extra energy.
No.
But if you get to like
that card is so narrow already, you can't be like, well, they get 1. That's fine. No, it has to be 0.
I just feel like I like the ramp deck too much to want to kill it for the sins of some combo deck getting 87 energy. You know what I mean? Like, why are we punishing poor Electro for Man Spider? You feel me?
I was gonna say 2/3 no energy. If you're saying 1 energy, all right, like 2/4 or 2/5 that shit. Let's go.
Yeah, 2/5 for every. Wait, no. 2/3, but like it eats the energy the way Havoc does. Like whenever they
That's
go,
cool.
So like whenever they go higher,
that's a cool card.
Yeah,
because then it combos with Luna.
Ooh.
Now I'm cooking.
That's really interesting. Yeah. I think that Star-Lord, you know, like people are gonna do the Evo thing, and I think he is pretty strong in an Evo deck. Like I find it hard to believe that he's not. You know. Like, this is a card that if you're playing off curve is going to pay you back big time for that. You're looking at a, 4/9, 4/10, depending on how many turns you skip with 4 or 5 extra energy. Again, depending on how many turns you skip. This card seems pretty clearly designed to be played on 5. That is very straightforward. This is a turn 5 card. You play him floating the energy, and you get the extra proc and the extra energy right back to you. I can see that being a thing. I just think that if that gets held back by anything, it's by the existence of high evolutionary. And, that is a little... I don't know what else this guy does. If he doesn't do high evo, and if the Man Spider stuff is, like, nerfably problematic, what the hell is this guy going in?
I mean, I would hope this is not just like a cut and paste into an existing high Evo type of thing, because yes, it will probably help that archetype, but that thing is like tier 7 or whatever, right? So like, okay, your deck got better. That is technically true, but I would hope that there is some amount of other cosmetic changes you could make that maybe also benefit from this guy. Like maybe you get a symbiote Spider-Man into that deck, and then you do the energy thing, and you're doing whatever the hell High Evo does instead of actual clean man spider combo.
That sounds terrible, though. Like, what you're suggesting is, what if we became worse Man Spider to make our deck better? And then it's like, well, what if we just played Man Spider?
You were saying if that deck is like problematically nerfable, right?
Yes.
So then what are we doing?
Sure. Yeah.
Well, I'll play a Hulk and Taskmaster it or some shit.
That's real Marvel Snap right there, Gerry. Play a Hulk and Taskmaster it. That's what Marvel Snap should be about. I am starting my campaign to elect Star-Lord President of the United States if he can make High Evo good again.
Mans doesn't even live here.
Isn't he from like Kansas?
No, he was born here.
Yeah,
but
so
he
he's a citizen.
Live here.
Yeah, but like he was born here. He's a citizen. That's how that works.
But he doesn't live here.
Okay,
he lives quite far away.
But you don't
I believe.
I don't. Do you have to establish residency to be president?
Probably.
I guess like it's one of those things where it's like probably. I know you have to do for like state stuff, but I do kind of wonder.
I think that would make sense if you have to do it for state stuff. Like you can't live over the city line or whatever, or the state line.
Just
but
like
you could live in Japan and be the president of America. That's silly.
It does sort of occur to me that like it just seems like the kind of thing they might not have thought about.
Yeah. Who would do this?
Yes, like why would that ever happen? And the answer is because he's in space. The president is in space. He's space president. Anyway, I'm pessimistic on High Evo.
There's definitely laws that don't specify like, oh, you have to live on Earth.
Yeah.
Right?
Like I do think they failed to understand the potential of space travel. The founders failed to anticipate this in many ways. And
just like Corsair.
Yeah. He just went out in a test plane and ended up in space for 30 years and he could never come back, even though he had a spaceship. He just somehow, for some reason, couldn't come back. He couldn't do it. Definitely not a deadbeat dad. In no way is he a deadbeat dad. He definitely did not mean to leave his kids alone for 30 years. He didn't mean to do it.
Dude, Corsair has got to be like the king of cope. It's like, oh no, I was stuck here, I swear.
Yeah. I'm sorry, son. I was stuck here with hot alien babes and my crew of sick alien like my best friends. I couldn't make it back. I was stuck here.
My best friends of like group of glup shittos.
Yes. My best friends Glup and Shitto and my wife. Yeah, but like no, we should get a Corsair season. I gotta get Glenn on this. I gotta be like, Glenn, can you make me a Corsair card that's mechanic is when you play it, it disappears? Like Norin the Wary. But Corsair.
Yeah. I was thinking reverse M'Baku.
You play him and he's just gone. He doesn't even go into the deck. He just disappears. He's gone from the entire game. He's just gone. 1/1. Corsair.
Reverse M'Baku, reverse Patches.
He comes back the next game.
Yes.
He comes back the next
30 games later, he comes back.
He tries to come back, but he always goes to a location where there's no room. So he's just like a no room for Corsair animation. That's my pitch for Corsair.
Yeah, and he's just floating around.
Yep. He just hangs out on the map or on the battlefield, just like flying around. Every so often he'll like look over and be like, not time yet. I can't go back.
I wish I could contribute to your point total, but there's just no way for me to do that.
Can't do it. Sorry, dude. Shout out Corsair. The greatest dad in Marvel Comics. So I guess to conclude, pessimistic on, of course, High high Evo. I mean, it'll probably be good there, but I'm just sort of pessimistic on high Evo. And optimistic on doing some really dumb man spider stuff with 14 energy. That seems good.
Yeah. Combo stuff sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Metagame is pretty combo-y anyway. Well, sort of. Like, they nerfed Sholau, so all the Sholau decks are basically just like... Yeah, the biggest hit was actually Deafening Chord, but they nerfed Sholau, so all the Sholau decks are like hybrid Sholau decks now. And so, like, if they have a tech piece, it's literally just Cosmo. And so you're just like, okay, well, I gotta play a combo deck. But a lot of them are still playing Merlin, a lot of them are still playing Cosmo. And so you kind of end up on, like, High Evo, not High Evo, sorry, Living Tribunal, as, like, the combo deck that just doesn't really care about that stuff, because you can go, like, at least Living Tribunal has, like, Wave Onslaught Sarah, you know? Like, at least Living Tribunal can do that and play a turn 6 game. But yeah, like, it for a metagame that should be way more combo heavy, there are enough counterplays to the combo stuff because all of them are running Cosmo for the Man Spider matchups, and Merlin is still in a bunch of them that's hitting a bunch of the other magic-based combo decks.
So there's Moondragon and Magus. I don't know which is the plus.
I don't know either. I think it's Magus.
All right, 3/5. Activate. Copy the text of a character in your deck with cost equal to your unspent energy without using its on reveal.
Wait, it actually says without using its on reveal?
In parentheses, yeah.
Oh my god. I've been wondering about that. Okay, that seems pretty clear cut. So there are two kinds of cards, Magus, you don't want to play with. That is on reveal and activate. On reveals don't work, and activates don't work because Magus isn't activate. By the way, did you see Glenn beefed this?
No.
Someone asked if he'd work with activates, and Glenn was like, yeah, totally. And then someone was like, Glenn, what the hell? And then he was like, my bad, I did not realize he was himself an activate. Like, great point. Anyway, yeah, since he is himself an activate.
In theory, it would.
Yeah, if he wasn't an activate. Yes, exactly. He is a card I think is probably not great because it kind of just means he's an ongoing or triggered card. But I'm kind of wondering if there's something I'm missing here because it's like there are kind of some things that would be interesting to hit. The fact that he's not an on reveal means you can't do a couple of very funny things like the Mr. Negative stuff. Obviously, like that's definitely the kind of thing that would be kind of stupid if he was doing on reveals. The fact that he's not, that the activates don't work though, that's tough because it kind of just makes him an ongoing bot or like something in the Thena triggered ability vein. But a lot of those decks are running activates that actually they kind of want. Like, you want to play this with Invisible in first steps, but it can't get Invisible in first steps. So what's the point of doing it, right? You get Prodigy, but that's an on reveal, so you can't do that. And so you're like, what am I doing with this card that is good? I realize it's a 3/5, so there's a floor on how bad it can be. And if there are good interactions, that's a really good stat line for it. I just don't know what they are.
Is there a deck that cares enough about, like, it's Sarah, for example, to want to run an extra copy and then just be like, all right, turn 5, I skip and do this thing?
Sarah.
I certainly can't think of an overlap there between a deck that wants to not spend energy and a deck that would also want like a Sarah thing. Like Invisible Woman is close because at least that one plays Sunspot, you know? Like maybe you could do that, but I don't know what you're hitting with this that matters.
Well, I mean, like, there are ones that you do want to hit with this, right? You hit Sunspot, you hit Misty Knight in your Evo deck. And it's like, oh, that's actually a good use case for me skipping one. I actually want to do that, right? Like, that actually is pretty okay. Like, that's sort of where I'm at with this card is like, I want to know what I can hit in the 1 and 0 range that is sick nasty. That's what I, like, I don't know if I'm skipping 5, I'm a Sarah deck, right? I'm Living Tribunal, I'm Sarah Control, I'm skipping 5 for that, totally got it. If I'm skipping one, maybe two, that's kind of a different thing, right? My instinct is, what is the dumbest thing I can do with one? And I can see putting this in your like Evo deck to get Sunspot or Misty Knight or something like that. I could see that happening.
Yeah, like this into Cyclops, activate, whatever.
Or like this into, like, there are other things too. Like, am I ever turning this into a 5-power Agony? Probably not, but I might, right? Like, there are situations
Interesting.
where it's like, I don't think this card is good, but it's so open-ended and weird that there's just kind of a lot to think about here. I understand why it's not an on reveals, by the way, like, for a couple of reasons, but mostly that I think it would be really stupid if, for example, you could activate for 0 and get your hammer or whatever, you know? That is just kind of bad if you let people do it. I still kind of wonder about this in Mr. Negative. Like, if you play Mr. Negative and then you activate this for 0, does it become a gore or a null?
It says cost capital, so I would think no.
That does make sense. Yeah. Okay. Well, then, yeah, we're kind of out of pixie shenanigans. We're out of all that stuff. I think
that would be super weird, dude. You pixie just shuffle them up, and you're like, "Let's go, Magus." What do we get?
That sounds awesome to me. I mostly think it's Sarah and ones that you're doing with this, if I had to guess.
Yeah, ones makes a lot of sense. I just don't know if you're like, oh man, I could really use a Sunspot so bad that I'll play the 3-cost version of it.
I just think you're into 3/5s. Like, I just think like Evo's card quality is so ass that you're like, I'll take. I think
that you're into 3/5s.
Sure. But Evo's card quality is like kind of like that. You know what I mean? Where you're just like,
no disagreement here.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. I could do something here, or I could just run this 3/5 that sometimes gives me more things to do that synergizes with my energy skip game plan. Is that going to be good? Again, it's got the Evo problem, right? But it does sort of feel like maybe there's something actually stupid here that we could do. I just don't know what it is.
And lore people, Magus is like evil warlock.
Can I just say, there's 2 Maguses in lore, and I think they mixed them up.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So there's Magus, who is like Warlock Magus, right? Like Warlock the robot, who was in the Robots season. This is not that Magus. This is evil Atom Warlock.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant.
No, I'm just saying, like, Warlock is the card that synergizes with skipping energy. The wrong Warlock. You see what I'm saying here? I think that they thought this Magus was the other Magus. That is my contention.
What was the original Atom Warlock design?
Wasn't it just what it is now, but bad?
I don't know. I felt like that was like he had some weirdo.
No, it was literally the 2/0. He just didn't gain power. It was just 2/0 draw card, no power gain.
No, I mean like the 5-cost one.
That was 5/5, no power gain. It was the same
shit. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I fully think they mixed up their Maguses here, because there's Magus, the sort of technarch, I guess, quote unquote, father of Warlock, who this design makes sense for because they're both energy skip cards. And then there's Magus, evil Atom Warlock, who this design does not make sense for because they have nothing in common, and that's who this guy actually is.
Yeah, but it is the Guardian season.
Yes. I think they Googled Magus. They got their Maguses mixed up. That is my theory. That is what I think happened.
Oh, I don't know. Whatever. Okay, Moondragon, deuce. End of turn. +2 power if you played 1 card this turn and spent all your energy.
Oh, fuck this card.
Baby.
I don't want to talk about this card. I don't want to talk about this card. We're going to talk about this card in a second. But I want to talk about something else that's like much more important than this card first. And it's that they got to stop fucking doing this. Anti-Venom, Agent Venom, Dragon of the Moon, Moon Dragon. Stop.
By they, you mean Marvel.
I mean Marvel Snap. They did not have to release these cards in the proximity that they did.
That's fair.
They did not have to do this. They could have, like, granted, I am the kind of person who will mix up Arishem and Eliath. I get names like that confused because I talk off the top of the dome. I am not really a writer or like pre-recorded. All this, it's all improv, right? So I get names that have similar shapes in my head mixed up. This is not my fault, though. This one is on them. And I cannot believe that they were like, you know what we should do is right after Dragon of the Moon, we should put Moon Dragon in the earliest possible slot. I cannot believe that that is a decision
Also,
they should have made.
It's not even really like close to release. It's like they just buffed Dragon of the Moon.
Yep.
To the point where like now it is playable or whatever.
Yep.
And now they release Moon Dragon.
Yeah, it's like they optimized specifically to make me misspeak in videos, and I don't like it.
Yeah, they're like, we need to get this card back into the zeitgeist to mess with KM. How do we do this?
Well, they have successfully done it in both cases. Man, if I had a nickel, genuinely, if I had a nickel for every time I've mixed up AV and AV, like the reason I call them both AV at this point is so it's unfalsifiably correct. I can't be wrong about it. Yes, like I could have been wrong, but you can't prove it. That is what I do. And I can't even do that with this. Because it'll always be wrong. If I say Moon Dragon and I'm like, oh, I meant Dragon of the Moon, people are going to be like, you're an idiot. There's no way for me to middle this. And I like they could have at least named it like, you know, the joke I did with Alex was Dragoon of the Mon. Could have at least named it that. Then I could call them both Dottum. You know, they could call them both Dottum, and they don't. By the way, Dottum, really cool name for a card. I feel like just throwing that out there.
.m.
Yeah, Dottum. I like it. And that is probably how I'm going to be referring to Dragon of the Moon from now on. This one is taking full name rights, and Dragon of the Moon is just Dottum. This is Moon Dragon. Anytime I say those words, I'm referring to this. I will only refer to Dragon of the Moon as Dottum from now on.
Okay. And you really like Doom 2099, right?
This makes me even more mad about the way they did Doom 2099. I
think I don't know. Like, I agree that it is not a perfect fix, but I do think that, like, if this card is coming out, it is kind of nice to be a little bit more incentivized. It's like, well, my card is less bad, and there's a new thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I lost to a Doom 2099 deck. They snapped me, and it was correct because they had the location that doubles ongoings. It turns out that, shocker of shockers, when the Doombots have more power, they're quite good. Who could have guessed that? It does seem like the kind of thing they could do if they wanted to make the card stronger instead of repeatedly buffing his stats. But yeah, I mean, this card is bad chamber for that deck, is how I'd phrase it.
Yeah.
And like what Chamber did for ramp decks was amazing. It was a really big deal. But there is a card coming out in this season that takes a huge dump on ramp decks. So that's worth talking about. And I think that maybe there is room for bad ramp to be around in a world where that card actually sees play. We'll get to him in a little bit.
I don't even know.
Brax, bro.
Oh, that's the next card. I was like, what? This card takes a big dump on ramp decks? Okay, Drax, Avatar of Life. 3/4, end of turn. +3 power if your opponent played a card with greater power this turn. Move to that card if you'd be winning its location. Move to that card?
Yeah, so this is, as far as I can tell...
That's a weird line of text.
As far as I can tell, this is a 3/16 that has Captain Marvel text in that matchup. At no point is a ramp deck
Huge
playing
dump.
anything smaller than this guy. This is 316 Captain Marvel against ramp.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? This is the biggest guy ever against that deck. I feel like this card reads as 3/7 with the upside of being 3/10 Captain Marvel, and then against ramp, it is just the biggest guy of all time.
I agree that turn 3, the numbers line up well.
Yeah.
And also, if anyone is thinking like, oh, what if they don't play Electro or Luna Snow on turn 3? Well, they're losing.
Yeah, you already won the game. If they don't do that, you already won.
So
You're good.
'em.
Yeah, if that is happening, you have won the game. Don't worry.
I do think that there is like a Dragon Lord situation where it's like, oh, maybe you don't get the extra proc or whatever. But also, I'm just saying.
Oh God, my 312 with Captain Marvel text. Oh,
I'm just answering questions. My contention is just like, does 3 big actually contest them enough in a lot of instances? Okay.
Yes. I think a 316 is exactly what a mid-range deck wants to beat the crap out of that deck. I'm not saying ramp is popular enough that you like necessarily need to play this card, but when I look at this card, I basically see 3/7 with upside. That's mostly what this reads as, right? 3/7 with upside. Would you play a 3/7 with upside? I feel like I would. I would play this in my Sholau deck. I think I would want this card. Like, there are some like interesting interactions. Like, for example, it won't work both with and against Sholau specifically. Like, if anything holds this card back, it'll be the prominence of Sholau, because a card will reveal and then it will gain power, which will not trigger this, and Sholau will have 6 power instead of 8, which will also probably not trigger this because something else probably already did. That's bad. Don't get me wrong.
Reverse Sholau to buff Drax.
Absolutely, yeah. But yeah, like, it is the kind of card that I would play in a world where I think, you know, let's assume Sholau isn't taking huge dumps on everything forever. He's actually a lot more balanced now anyway, but still. Yeah,
that's what I was saying. It's like, it seems like things are in line. Also, the week
No, he's still a little.
There's Star-Lord.
He's a little strong.
Okay. Well, it's still a little decline, but the week before, there's like Star-Lord, banger combo card. You heard it from KM. KM said buy this card because it's so
I did not
sick.
say that. This is not financial advice.
That's what I heard, because I was like, oh, I want to play Man-Spider.
Okay. That's what you heard. That's not what I said.
That's what I heard.
You are not going to paint me as a shill.
Therefore, that's what you said.
I am not a I am not a shill. I will never shill.
No, you're not shilling. You just said that you made a very compelling case and got me excited.
And this is the worst part about my job, is like, I'm responsible for other people's bad decisions. Like, yeah. I'll say I like something and someone's like, Cam, you said you like this. I wasted my money. It's like, well, fucking read the second half of that sentence again, dude. You wasted your money. What the fuck are you blaming me for, dude?
And also, I said I liked it. I didn't say I loved it. You know?
I said I loved Fin Fang Foom. Actually, that was like the title of my video. Well, I love this card. And I do.
Well, that card's sweet.
That card is sick as shit of all time. I love it so much, man. I've told the Crow some Cloud Scraper story, but like, yeah, that's my guy. Big green idiot is exactly up my alley. Inexplicably high quote unquote mana cost, exactly up my alley. Perfect. The perfect card.
Another character, I have no idea what this shit is. Major Victory, 3/4. On reveal, add 2 members of the Guardians crew to your hand.
Are you familiar with the hit sitcom How I Met Your Mother?
Yes.
There's like a gag in that show where like every time someone says something that could be construed as a sort of rank in the army, you know, Major Victory, right? Yeah. Private Dancer, etc. Like that. That's the only relevant thing this card has done to my brain. Nothing about I'm going to get, Gamora. No. Not a single actual thought about playing this card. I want to be super clear about that. No, not once have I ever thought about playing this card, nor will I think about playing this card. If you want to put this in your RSM deck, go nuts. If you want to put this in your V-Hand deck, good luck getting Mantis. I can only think of Major Victory. That's it. That's the only actual contribution to any conversation about this card that I have. It is trash. I should be clear. I'm pretty sure this is the Series 4 card from an event, so it's allowed to be.
Oh,
like
LTE.
it's allowed.
Yep.
It's allowed to be trash. It's allowed. Like they're allowed to like release like a card that's just like, here's a cool card, right? But this is Agent Coulson. It's arguably worse than Agent Coulson. I think it probably is better, but it's Agent Coulson.
Better.
And are you really going to play Agent Coulson? They just nerfed Quinjet to 1/1, so you're going to play a 1/1 Quinjet to justify a card that could give you Mantis? I think not. I think I will not be doing that. So I actually think that if they wanted to make this card good, they would just make it give you the Guardians that cost, like, it would just be like, give you Rocket and Star-Lord. And then I would play it in V-Hand. I'll play the shit out of a card that was like 3-4
that
give you
card
Rockets.
be
That card
real
be
good.
sick, right? It's just that there's too much room for like bad rolls here. I feel like you're gonna get a lot of expensive dog shit you're not gonna be able to play. Like I do want to be clear though, like it's in conception, it's really not that far off. You know, like there's a version of this with like a curated pool that's actually like a really good card, probably.
And some of them are cheaper than the random garbage that Coulson gives you.
Yep.
Which, yes, maybe doesn't work as well with Quinjet, but that's because they're pre-Quinjetted.
Except when they aren't, which is the problem in deck building, right? You're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get the cheap ones this time. You get Drax Gamora, and you're like, I see. I have played 3/4. Give me Gamora. Great.
Is this going to be banned in the one format, Sanctum?
Oh shit! I think you cracked it. Wait, speaking of cards that are banned in Sanctum, Drax has to be the most banned in Sanctum card of all time. That is just the most banned in Sanctum card I've ever seen. That card might as well release with a tag that says banned in Sanctum. There is no way. There has never been a more banned in Sanctum card than that guy. That guy's banned in Sanctum. I think Major Victory might skate because they don't want to ban 2 cards in the same month. Drax is like pre-banned. No way.
It's funny that Sanctum is like, okay, a bunch of the Guardians are banned, and then they do a Guardian season, and then they also make more things that stay on theme where it's like, oh, I'm pretty sure this should be banned in Sanctum.
It's sick as hell. I respect their dedication to the bit, even though it jives with some of how they'd probably want to monetize the game. All right, who's next?
It's happening right now, right? So it'll probably be a while before it comes back.
Yeah, I think if I had to guess, they seem to be on like a rotation where it's like Sanctum and GA. And then like, what's the other non-terrible event? Is it actually just Sanctum and GA?
Well, yeah, there's the random high voltage stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to do like a Deadpool thing again.
Yeah, it hasn't gone well basically any other time they've done it, although I do think the last iteration of it was the best one.
Yeah, and obviously they're willing to iterate on it, so there's that possibility too. Who knows?
Yep. Who's next?
Kraglin, 3/3 on reveal. Banish the top card of your deck if it was 4 cost or higher, +2 energy next turn. Otherwise, give this +4 power.
I hate this card. I hate this card a lot. I hate every part of this card. Okay, so thing I hate about this card, the foremost thing that I hate about this card is I don't know who Kraglin is. I have no idea. I think it's Yondu's kid, but I don't know. The second thing that I hate,
blue.
Yes, this is probably Yondu's kid, sure. The second thing that I hate about this card though is it's got Mole Man syndrome, where but it's got it worse, right? If you're playing a Mole Man deck, you're doing things that synergize with the rocks. So the text on your cards is important. And banishing the top card means that the text on your cards, you might end up screwing yourself over by getting rid of a key piece. Because again, you're trying to, the more specific the thing you're trying to do is, the less you want to be banishing the top card of your deck. This guy is saying, I give you +2 energy on turn 4. There are a very specific amount of cards that want you to do that. Very specific. I don't want to play this card in the deck that does that. Like, I want to play it with my Galactus. I'm going to Galactus people. Okay, here's the problem, dude. Oh, I Galactus you. But you're not even going to have priority because instead of playing the 3/6 wave, you played a 3/3. Like, there are a lot of parts of this card. And the whole package adds up into genuinely probably my least favorite card of the last 3 months.
I am going to kind of push back on the don't want to banish the top card thing because, yes, you can banish your Victoria hand, but you can also play a game where you won't draw your V hand and this
Absolutely
banished a card and got you closer to the V hand instead. It like that aspect of it is random, but I agree that if you do play this or play Mole Man, you banish your V hand, okay, your deck does not work. But
this card isn't good enough to support making you feel like crap.
I understand, but now you're moving goalposts, okay?
Sure.
Problematic.
Look, I get that, but when I talk about Mole Man Syndrome, I am talking a little bit about, like, this card is making you feel bad for no reason. If they wanted to make 3/3 +2 energy on reveal, I think they could have just done that.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it would be good.
It'd be good. Really good. It'd be a good card, but I don't think you'd be like, oh my god, I can't believe they did that. They could probably do that. Maybe it'd be a 3/2.
I don't know. Certainly, if you want to make a card like this, I feel like you have to make this one first.
I get that. I guess my thing is, I really dislike the way that cards like this in Mole Man have this built-in fail case for a thing that isn't even that good in the first place. Where it's like, if these cards were good enough that, like, the fail case is interesting and adds dynamism to their games, I wouldn't really have this problem. But instead, what you're doing is you're taking like a 46% win rate card and then also making it feel like shit. And it's like, I just like, I feel like if you're designing something with that kind of fail case on it, where it's gonna make people feel bad, regardless of the reality of the situation, there are more feel bads out of this than there are feel goods. Full stop.
So Mole Man does not really have the problem that I'm going to describe, but I think that this card does, which is pre-decision or post-decision variants happening, where whether or not you want to play a 3/7 or whether or not you want to play a 3/3 that gives you 2 energy, you would want to know that before you play the card, right? I feel like the feels bad wrapped up in this is going to be like, I definitely want the 2 energy, and then you play it and you get a 3/7 and you're like, well shit, because I had a 6 that I really wanted to play, and if I knew I wasn't going to hit, I would have just not played this card. I would have played something else and then a 4-drop. You know,
you're right. This does make you feel worse than Mole Man.
Yeah, by a lot.
Yep.
Because Mole Man, at least, like, you get the rocks. You knew you were getting the rocks.
You're getting some rocks, yeah. I genuinely can't wait for the rock synergy stuff in the data mines to come out and for me to like, I'm going to play my rock deck and just Mole Man my Ozymandias game 1. God, it's going to be so sick. It's going to be the sickest shit of all time. I cannot wait.
But what if you Mole Man away a brick and then on the last turn, you draw the Ozymandias because the Mole Man got you there?
See, that's actually incredible flavor for Mole Man in the sense that he's digging.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's
a banger. It's a banger. I just feel like it's good flavor. But I just think that like a card like that has to be better than these cards are. Where what they've done is slap a downside mechanic on cards that aren't good enough to need it.
I feel like this card should be what it is, but it should then also know which one you wanted. And if it did the one that you didn't want, it should give you like half a cube. It's like, I'm sorry, buddy. Here's a little refund. You know?
Never cook again. It's unbelievable. Oh my God. The process of that, I bit my lip so hard that I think it's bleeding. I just contemplating that. No, it's cold as hell out here. My lips are really suffering in this coldness that is occurring. It's so hard being me. Actually, I should say the reason that they're like this is because we did our engagement photo shoot, my fiance and me. I got to get used to calling her that in public. But it was cold as hell. It's like the coldest day of the year, and it's our engagement photo shoot. It's like, okay, all right. We picked either the right time or the wrong time, but that is why my lips are so completely obliterated. It was absolutely freezing out there.
Yeah, you went outside.
Yeah, I don't recommend it. Who is next?
Jack Flag 3/3 ongoing. Your cards here with increased power have +2 power.
I don't know how to feel about this guy. Where it's like, well, I like the idea of buffing my Maverick. I like that. I'm into that. But I feel like if I wasn't buffing my Maverick, I'd be like, all right, well, I mean, this guy's like a 311, but is that all that special in today's world? Are we into 311s? I don't even know.
You were just talking about Drax being the stone cold nuts.
That's a 316 with Captain Marvel text. Very different card.
Very different in that, I don't know, better? Jack Flag kind of works with the stuff that I want to do, and your Drax thing is like, okay, I'm playing against ramp.
My Drax has no synergy with my Surfer deck, but it's okay. My Drax is big as hell. I don't care. Oh my God. Yeah, the synergy Drax has with the Surfer deck is that he's huge, which is actually great flavor, because that's the kind of thing Drax would say. What is your synergy with this team? It is that I am large. Yeah. I don't know.
Jack Flag is big, and I don't know. I just like doing this stuff more than Drax, whatever the hell he's doing. Just be over there being big.
This is why this is the exact opposite for me. I look at this guy and I'm like, look at all this effort I'm going to for a card I could just put in my deck. Yeah, I could have this card with Captain Marvel text, dude. Oh, my opponent's going to play around it.
Not the destination, baby.
You're not going to play around it. Oh, yeah, I'm going to build my entire deck so I never trigger
energy
Drax.
Number. I like the big energy number, not the Man Spider Taskmaster. I like the 14 energy. You got me with the 14 energy.
Yeah, it's about what you could do,
I went on the journey.
Will. Yeah. It's once you realize your potential, you're like, oh, that's it. But if it's unrealized, it's technically infinite. Never cash out, chat.
Dog, that is so true. Unbelievably true.
Mm-hmm. Never, ever, ever cash out. Just live in the moment of potential for your entire life. This is why we see so many quote-unquote former gifted kids on the internet. They're living in that moment of potential for their entire life. They will never grow up. It is Peter Pan in this motherfucker. I realize that is an incredibly ironic thing for a man who plays video games for a living and sleeps all day to say. To that, I have no rebuttal. Correct. Correct.
I wonder if this is why I draft decks and then don't play them, because it's it's like, well, this could be anything. You know, it's like this deck has potential. It could be 7 wins, you know?
I think that's just because drafting is more fun than playing. Like, I don't even think that's like a potential thing. It is
definitely that, but it is funny how that is definitely a thing that I do all the time.
Drafting is it just is better. It is better than playing, and I do think a lot of it is that potential thing. It's like the same way that I used to play with Magic cards when I was a kid, which is to say, never actually playing Magic, just sort of like laying them out on my floor and being like, "This is my army." That's yeah. Because you can't lose when you're doing that.
Like, wouldn't it be so cool if I was playing a game and then someone's like, "Hey, do you want to play?" And you're like, "Hell no!"
Yeah, wait, I'm never gonna cast cards. I'm never gonna cast a Croson Cloud Scraper in a real game. The hell are you talking about?
It.
Yeah, I when I went on the the Elder Dragon Hijinks, which is the show that Olivia and Alias V and Olivia Gobert Hicks do, which they had me do one with a precon, and I chose the precon that had Croson Cloudscraper in it, and I got my Croson Cloudscraper from when I was a kid and swapped it out, and otherwise it was just the exact precon, except I had my Croson Cloudscraper in it. That's my guy, but I've never played him in a real game of Magic. I never will. There's no shot. There is no way.
Well, Commander is real Magic now.
We'll get to that. We have a dramatic Twitter thread reading later in the show.
Oh my god. Oh
yes.
my god.
Can
we not?
No. Sorry.
I forgot we were doing this.
Yeah.
This is bad.
Awesome. Who the hell's next?
Another LTE homie, Starhawk. 2/2 on reveal. On odd turns, give your cards at the left location +1 power. On even turns, give to the right location.
This card just seems good. Like, I'm just pretty sure that card is good. There's not even anything else to say about it. Just a good ass card. Like we talked about the duality of LTE cards, and I think this really shows it off because you have Major Victory in this, and Major Victory is just like, don't even bother. And this guy, you're like, there might actually be something here. Like, this is that's a 2/6 if you're filling up the location. It's got synergy with buff stuff, and buff stuff is dope as hell. Obviously, like, makes a ton of sense with a Jack Flag, right? That's your Jack Flag activator. Like, all of that stuff seems really straightforward and probably pretty good, honestly. Like, I would imagine this is a card that is just like, you will be happy to have this card in your collection. You will use it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yep.
Who the hell is Jack Flag, by the way?
I told you, dude. You might as well be saying, who the hell is Glup Shido? I don't know.
Well, yeah.
I don't know who Jack Flag is. Is he like Space Captain America? That's kind of what he looks like.
He's got like a grifter mask on.
What do you mean grifter mask?
The well-known comic character Grifter.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I think it was like a
Okay.
DC imprint thing.
Jack Flag did actually show up in Captain America. All right, we're cooking. Okay, so Jack Flag has occasionally appeared alongside Captain America and is in and occasionally along the Guardians of the Galaxy. He first appeared in Captain America 434 in December 1994. Jack and his brother Drake. Wait, his actual name is Jack Flag? I just thought
of the Boston Flags.
What? Okay. Jack and his brother Drake are Drake Flag are members of Captain America's computer hotline network. What? Together, they create a citizens patrol group in their hometown of Sandhaven, Arizona. So the Arizona Flags, of course. Several criminals attack Drake, leaving him unable to use his legs. After the attack, Jack and Drake discover that the Serpent Society have infiltrated their hometown and attempt to contact the local authorities, only to learn that the society has bribed them. Jack, unhappy with this... You want to interrupt?
How does this guy end up in space?
We'll get there! Jack, unhappy with this information, begins training in martial arts and weightlifting so he can fight the society on his own. During a bank robbery, he intervenes and battles Rock Python and Fer de Lance, members of the Serpent Society. Shortly after this, Jack attempts to infiltrate the society, but King Cobra does not fully trust Jack. He sends Jack to steal a painting from Mr. Hyde, who severely beats Jack. During the battle, Jack is drenched in Hyde's chemicals and develops superhuman physical abilities, easily defeating Hyde and retrieving the painting.
Okay, pause real quick.
Yes.
I want to ask who is Rock Python, but I'm scared that his given name is going to be Rock Python.
That's great. No, apparently his given name is Magula. M''Gula.
Of the Arizonian.
Of the Arizona Gulas, of course, yes. Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, so Dude, he literally just shows up in space. Okay, so he violates the Superhuman Registration Act, gets like subdued by the Thunderbolts, and then the next time you see him, he is leading the prisoners of Negative Zone Prison Alpha, which is apparently where they put you. They put you in space when you break the Superhuman Registration Act. And
Really?
apparently. And then he just stays in space, so he's not a fugitive. That's Jack Flag.
So this grifter character that I was talking about is a DC imprint, Wildstorm, and his real name is Cole Cash.
Oh my god. As in like cold hard cash. That is the worst shit I've ever heard in my entire life. Kudos to whoever came up with that. I told you about my like little Jimmy Fallon bit. That's a really good like anti-joke. It's really good.
The 90s, man.
Also, I'm not sure if I'm reading this right, but it sort of looks like Captain America kills him. Jack Flag later returns to Earth and is recruited by Steve Rogers to join S.H.I.E.L.D. and combat Hydra. He and Free Spirit travel to Bagalia. It's like MCU Bulgaria or something, to deal with Baron Zemo and his new masters. Flag ignores Rogers' orders to stay with Free Spirit and goes after Zemo himself. Rogers confronts Flag and throws him off of the plane, severely injuring him and rendering him comatose. Rogers attempts to kill Flag by injecting him with poison until Free Spirit arrives and tells him that his family decided to disconnect him from life support. This is the end of his Wikipedia entry.
It seems like Cap overreacted a little bit.
It's like Captain America killed this guy. It seems like Captain America absolutely killed this guy.
What the shit?
I have no idea, dude. I genuinely have no idea. Maybe this was like during the arc where it was eventually revealed Captain America was like a member of Hydra or something, but it does seem kind of insane to be like, you didn't follow my orders. I'm going to beat you into a coma, throw you off of a plane, and then poison you until I get the news that your family is okay with me doing this to you and disconnect your life support. What?
Yeah, it seems a bit much. Like, especially the poisoning to kill him. It's just like, dude, he's comatose, man.
Yeah, you
like,
beat him into a coma, and now you're like, I gotta kill him. Why didn't you just do that when you were beating him into a coma?
Calm down, man.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but there is no indication that it's like evil Cap beyond the actions that are being taken.
So, as I do, I'm on Snap Fan. I'm looking at what variants are coming out. Oh, cool. Creative House Pocket Redshift. What's the deal with that? Oh, $100.
Would you buy a Redshift variant for $5?
If there was a deck with Redshift that I played in the last 6 months, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is good that you out yourself as an ethical gamer, not even bothering with this hella crap. But
dude, they have the thing, the hella variant in the Sanctum thing. I wanted so bad, but not enough to play that mode.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna grind for the Pixie variant, and then I was like, I played 10 games of Sanctum, and I'm not gonna play any more games of Sanctum. And to be fair, I did it to myself. I was playing Sanctum with the ramp deck, and like the only thing I would argue more on rails than playing Sanctum generally is playing Sanctum with the ramp deck. That shit is I'm playing one card, buddy. It's big. Good luck.
Dude, just write a script in AFK, you know?
So I will admit, maybe I did that to myself, right? Maybe I caused the problem. Maybe I'm the problem. It's me, to quote the greatest singer-songwriter of our generation. But really?
I don't even know who you're quoting.
It
Yeah.
was Taylor Swift.
Oh.
Which is a lie. The greatest singer-songwriter of our generation is Charlie XCX, whose side I take in that beef. But that, of course, being beside the point.
Dude, Swifty's gonna come for you, man.
It's not my fault she wrote the worst diss track of all time. I'm sorry, but it's just not my fault. It's not my fault that she released the Tortured Poets Department. It is not my fault. I've developed a new... See, like, normally I think people... Taylor Swift is with Travis Kelce, football player. Normally people hate Travis Kelce for winning a bunch and being good at football. I hate Travis Kelce for seemingly making Taylor Swift so satisfied that she just made a bunch of dog shit music. She's like, oh, I don't have to try anymore. I'm good. I'm done. Like, I'm happy.
It's not that she doesn't have to try. She probably tried really hard. It's just that she doesn't have all that like anger and angst.
Yes, like or alternatively, he infected her with his CTE. The first case of sexually transmitted CTE is Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, because that dude is super dumb, and it is almost like he ghost wrote half of her last album. Like, there's a lot of really bad songs on that album. It is really bad. A lot of, like, just... Have you ever thought you needed to hear Taylor Swift, like, put a lot of emphasis on the word wet?
No.
Well, she does. Have you ever thought that you want to hear Taylor Swift sing about the size of Travis Kelce's dick and compare it to a redwood tree?
This really happened?
Oh, yeah, it's all terrible.
Yeah, what happened?
Great question. I don't know. Anyway, this is all... My point here is a lot of people have a lot of football-based reasons to hate Travis Kelce. I hate Travis Kelce because he's responsible for bad music. I respect the football stuff. I respect Taylor Swift. But if he is in any way involved in Tortured Poets Department, I do blame him for that. That was a really, really bad album. That was just awful.
Well, he's involved so much that, like, he made her happy, you know? Like,
yeah, stop, dude. Can you be like a worse boyfriend, please? Like, Jesus Christ. Can you, like, just go cheat on her or something so we can get good music again? Come on. I just want to be clear. The one bit of that is not me doing a bit is that Tortured Poets Department was really bad. It was a really bad album.
Well, I now have that opinion because of the redwood tree thing.
Yep. It's
I didn't need to know any of that.
Yeah.
Now I do.
Yep. The Charlie XCX diss track is Charlie XCX made like this, like, honestly, it's a very good song. It's called Sympathy is a Knife. It's about feeling insecure in the presence of like a prettier woman who is implied to be Taylor Swift. And it's like Charlie XCX is like Taylor Swift is this like tall, willowy blonde. Charlie XCX is not that. She's very attractive, but you can understand why she would feel insecure in that context, right? And so she writes this song that's basically like, I feel so insecure around you. I hate the way that this whole situation makes me feel. Like, it's like a fairly raw and almost apologetic song. And Taylor Swift's...
The diss track is, you're really hot. Doesn't sound like a diss track to me.
That is how a normal person would interpret it, but Taylor Swift instead interpreted it as, wow, look at you thinking about me all the time. That's so flattering, and then made a song about that.
This beef sounds one-sided.
Which is crazy, because you'd think it would be one-sided the other way. Like, you'd think it would be like, oh, I'm beefing with the biggest artist on the planet. Nope. It's the biggest artist on the planet, just like taking something that, honestly, again, it's the best song on Charlie XCX's album, right? Like, you were about Brat Summer 2024. You remember that? Remember Brat Summer?
I've heard about that.
Sympathy is a Knife is like the best song on that album by, I would argue, a pretty wide margin. And it is very sad. Like, it's just like, I feel so incredibly insecure being around you because I can't ever be you. Like, that's just a very real human emotion. And Taylor Swift's response to this is to be like, Lamau,
She took it as
You
like
Think
a
About
dig
Me.
somehow or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's
Yeah,
it's
like what
it's
the
crazy. And the worst part about it is this album has as track 5, which is typically like her, that's where she puts like her big track, you know what I mean? Like that's like the emotional ballad on her albums, right? Is about how like people are fake on the internet and like trolls or whatever. And it's like, okay, sure, but I just don't understand how you can make that song talking about how this sort of weaponization of apathy on the internet, right? And then turn around and be like, my response to Charlie XCX is, it's actually so hot that you think about me so much. Like, that's just internet troll shit. You're doing that. That's you were complaining about this. I don't know. I hate that album. It's a really bad album. It sucks. Get it out of here.
Well, given that, I will not listen to it.
I will say, I actually like Taylor Swift does have some really good albums. This is not me ass covering for the Swifties. I really like 1989. It's a really good album.
I know so many people who love her and her music, and not my jam.
I like her when she's doing sort of maximalist pop stuff. This one will actually get me killed by the Swifties. I was not nearly the fan of Folklore and Evermore that basically everyone else was. But they were a damn sight better than this. I like her when she's doing like bigger songs, if that makes any sense. Folklore and Evermore were like, "Ooh, I'm a singer-songwriter." And they're good, but like,
yeah, just like putting out bangers instead of like artsy.
Yeah, and like I understand why you'd make the turn. Anyway, the long story short of it is, Tortured Poets Department is the worst entry in her discography by a wide margin, but don't mistake me for a blind Taylor Swift hater. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I had a little discussion with a buddy of mine who pointed out a thing that I had not really realized, which is it is really difficult for someone to make like a very strong third album, because in many instances you, and I guess this is more for like the genre of music that we listen to, which is, you know, like metal, screamo-y type of stuff, where that music is filled by that angst and unhappiness and whatever. And it's like, if you gotten to the point where you're making a third album, you're probably doing okay. And now maybe you're probably a little bit happier. And it's just like, oh yeah, this music just kind of sucks now.
Yeah, I do think that like being rich is sort of like waking up every day and getting kicked in the head by a horse. Like, you just don't really have a normal human experience anymore. And if anything, it's a credit to Taylor that she was able to like keep making good music even after being absurdly wealthy and absurdly famous, and only started making bad music now. Like, if anything, it's actually like kind of a miracle that she got like 9 albums in, you know, before it really set in.
I imagine bad relationships, even for rich people, like it still, a lot of the stuff is similar to people who are in much lower tax brackets, you know, like that is a thing that is very relatable, even if the specifics I'm sure are much different.
Yeah, I don't even like, I joked about the Travis Kelce stuff, but honest to God, the worst stuff on the album is all her. Like, it's the like internet trolls are so bad into taking the posture of an internet troll thing. Like that's all her. Like that's like, I joke about the CTE, I joke about all that stuff, but like honestly, I feel bad because that's a very real problem in the NFL, and it's she's stupid all on her own on this album, and that sucks. Like, it sucks. I made a lot of jokes about Travis Kelce. I feel bad because I think he is probably a great dude. If, you know, by the standards of NFL players, probably one of the better dudes there is. And yeah, I don't know. I don't want to blame him for her being a dumbass on this album. That's all her.
No,
she did it.
Yeah, I feel like I agree with you there. I don't know how he could have had that much of an impact. It just sounds like, yeah, I mean, if he is making her happy,
I don't even like, yeah, it's just like, oh,
after like 10 years of her being unhappy, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, like, good for you, man. I am happy for them, but like, oh my God. Like, I don't like believing that pain makes good art. I think that's probably a bad belief to have because it sort of reflects like a just world hypothesis in ways that are probably not true. But I find it hard to argue that like now that Taylor Swift is finally happy, she's like, let me make the worst album I've ever made.
I think pain makes good art if that is where your art starts from.
Mm. Yeah, I guess the counter argument would be Kanye, who, as he got more and more insane, made worse and worse music. Like, he was in way more pain later, and his music was way worse.
Yeah. And I think if Taylor were happy and was just like, I am going to make happy music, and she figured out a way how to do that well, then that could have been the trajectory of her career, right? But it's like she has figured out how to do the, whatever breakup song and deliver that in a way that resonates with people, right? And now she's just like, oh shit, I'm happy. What do I write about? The big dicks, I guess.
I don't know. That might be the one song on the album that'll age like at least well in kind of an ironic way. Just because like the actual statements the album is making, where the like internet troll thing, like that genuinely does upset me. Like to have this sort of like nuanced take on discourse on the internet and then to immediately throw it out the window to dunk on some woman who wasn't even dunking on you, was just talking about how hot you are and how insecure that makes her. It's just like it's bad. I don't know.
That is wild to me. That's one of the things where like someone presents me with a situation and I'm like, I have to be missing some piece of evidence or whatever.
Maybe Taylor has alluded to like behind the scenes, she was shitty to me with my ex-boyfriend or whatever, right? Because they were dating members of the same band. The opening line of the song is, heard you call me cocaine Barbie when the cokes got... Oh, sorry. Heard you call me boring Barbie when the cokes got you brave. And it's like, all right, first of all, good line, but second of all, I do think calling you boring Barbie is kind of funny. Like that is like
it's funny. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but both of those are bars. Like I do agree that starting the song out with like you're not even brave enough to say this to my face, that is a good line, but also so is boring Barbie. You gotta give her that one.
Yeah.
Like that's all right, fair enough. I don't know. It's like do you remember when I changed my name to I Paid to Win? And someone else changed their name to I Paid to Wine. And it was just like, man, you got me. There's not even anything I can say. No. Like, yeah, you fucking nailed it.
You're stuck with it for 30 days.
Yep. It's like, yep, you got my ass. I have been gotten. Like, yeah, I can't even do anything other than give you kudos on that. And that's sort of how I feel about how Taylor should have reacted to boring Barbie.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man. You're Taylor Swift. Relax. That's sort of, that was my 12 minutes on Taylor Swift that I definitely expected to be part of this podcast.
I learned so much, KM. Thank you.
I'm glad I was able to help. Do you want to do a dramatic reading? Are we done with the cards?
We are done with the cards. No, I don't, but I feel like we're going to do it anyway. So let's get it.
Yeah, we are. Okay. So dramatic reading. This is a user on Twitter who played a competitive EDH tournament. Would you, I don't know. I just feel like this is a good question to ask you. Tell me a little bit about competitive EDH. What is that?
Where to begin? EDH is what a lot of folks would describe as a quote unquote casual format. What that really means is that it's like a social format. It is using a 4-player game of Magic as social lubricant, much in the same way that one would use like a board game or alcohol. And that is just kind of like a beautiful thing to have and to be a part of. And it's great because it's just a default thing that you can fall back on to get some human interaction and have fun with people whose company you enjoy. And CEDH is just taking that and making it into an abomination where instead of doing it for fun and, I don't know, like interacting with your fellow humans during the game, you are instead politicking over just random bullshit. You know,
I will
don't
counter this spell if you tap all your lands. That's like,
or just like I could counter the spell, but I'm pretty sure you have a counter spell, so I'm just not gonna, because I know that you have to use your resources and stop it instead. And it's like, why are you being a dick?
Because that's what competitive play means.
Because I can.
Anyway, that brings us to this thread.
It is awful, and as you might expect, if there is a format that is like this, it is going to attract the worst kinds of people. And I don't mean like people who are like really, really bad, like villains. I just mean like the most annoying people in the universe.
And I want to be clear, the thread we're reading is not by an annoying person. It is by someone who has been harangued by annoying people. That is my view on this. The thread we are reading
appears to be kind of.
The thread we are reading is by someone who genuinely feels bad for something, in my opinion, he should not feel bad for. And it is this. Hi, everyone. I want to publicly acknowledge and take responsibility for a choice I made during my round 2 game at Royal Rumble 2 last Saturday. In that game, I lied to the pod as I stated that I was casting a mnemonic betrayal in order to cast a Rhystic Study and then pass. I was aware that mnemonic betrayal could net me a win and decided to use it that way. This was my decision, and it was wrong, as it doesn't align with my values. I knew immediately afterward that I had made a mistake. In hindsight, I'm not even certain why I chose to lie, but regardless of the reason, there is no excuse. My actions did not align with my values or with the kind of player or person that I strive to be. What matters to me the most is that the decision damaged my relationship with Matt Hayes, which is far more important than any card game or result. It also affected the players in the pod, anyone who watched the match, and the team and community I represent through critical EDH. By acting this way, I did not just fail personally, I let down the people who trust me to uphold the standards of the team. This is not how I want to win games. As someone who creates content, participates publicly in this community, I want to be a positive force that people can respect, not just as a fierce competitor, but as a competitor who wins cleanly. In that moment, I failed to live up to that standard and became the kind of opponent I have always disliked playing against and never wanted to be. I will take a note here. I think it is honorable to say that I don't want to be a person who is like this. That is one thing. That is a fine thing to say, and I don't want to come across like that is the part that I am trying to dunk on here. I have already apologized privately, but I felt a responsibility to make this acknowledgement public, as well as to be transparent, to hold myself accountable, and to be clear about where I fell short. I am not proud of this, but I am owning it. I am human, and this is me taking responsibility and trying to commit to do better moving forward. The reason that this guy is apologizing is for not telling his opponents that he was going to win the game.
I mean, it's a little bit different than that. It's like, I'm going to cast the spell, and then people are like, well, like maybe someone. So basically, how it works is like, you do a thing, and then it goes around the table for like, are you going to do anything in response to this?
Yes.
And if everyone passes, then your thing resolves. So if he said, I'm going to play this thing and just do this innocuous thing with it, and then everyone's like, yeah, that's okay, and then he does it, that's technically legal to
you
then
have
do
no
something else with it.
obligation to tell your opponent what you're actually going to do. None.
Yes.
None whatsoever.
And I feel like if this person were someone else, like there are many people who do this regularly. And if you were that kind of person, people can't really come after you for that. Because it's like, what did you expect? This is like a little, frog and scorpion kind of business.
It is in my nature.
Yes. Like but it just so happens that this is a nice dude.
Yes,
this thing. And possibly because he's around people who are doing this kind of bullshit all the time, where it like rubs off on him. And then he's just like, oh, wait, no, I actually do feel remorse for my actions. And I wonder if now he's just like, how do people keep doing this? Like, do they just have like no conscience or whatever? The answer probably yes.
But also it's just like, The idea of this in-depth an apology and active cheaters in Magic the Gathering have never apologized to this level.
Never.
Like the idea, in a way, it's almost an admirable moment for the CEDH community that they have gotten to this point. But the problem is the people who are actually shitting up the place are never going to do this.
No, the problem is that this is a person who did a thing that's legal. Again, perfectly legal. Not a thing that warrants him getting harangued and bullied, and not a thing that he should necessarily have to apologize for. But he feels so bad for it. Yeah, write a whole ass thread. And I feel like he's just going to get bullied out of the community. They're going to be like, "Oh no, you too good for us, son. Get out." And it's just going to be more of these dudes with no consciences.
It's just
again most annoying people.
The idea of this being competitive EDH. That's the sort of fundamental contradiction here. Because on the one hand, you have this guy apologizing for legally winning the game. Being like, I'm sorry I was a dick. And on the other hand, you have a guy making a deal with the tournament organizers that if the game goes 10 hours, it becomes a draw. And because I'm on the top of the standings, I automatically win. And the game goes 10 hours and it becomes a draw because I have to make my flight. When, again, in any other situation, if you have to leave, you concede. But I made a deal with the tournament organizers. And the gamut of CEDH is people who take it seriously enough to actually try. And that naturally will include some people who take it seriously enough to do extracurricular things and never apologize for them. And then there's this, which is the other way, which is this is the casual part of card gaming. There's no other way to describe it coming out.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
This person, if they read Serlin's Play to Win, they would not make this apology. That would just be, okay, this is technically within the rules. It is fine, right? But it's a thing that is maybe frowned upon, where it's sort of angle shooty, but not really. Again, technically legal.
Also, I do think it's worth pointing out that the card in question, Mnemonic Betrayal, it's a 1 UB. Exile all cards from opponents' graveyards. You may cast those cards this turn, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any type to cast those spells. At the beginning of the next end step, if any of those cards remain exiled, return them to their owner's graveyard. So it's not Yawgmoth's Will, but if someone tells you, I want to cast this to play the most innocuous card in the format, I kind of think you not countering that is on you.
I feel like, oh, well, especially if they had a win rolled up, maybe it was not entirely face up. It probably involved some stuff in their hand or whatever.
Yeah.
But as their opponent, you should know that it is legal for him to lie to you and say what he is going to do. And so maybe you should be used to not taking people at face value in this bullshit because everyone is doing this shit all the time anyway.
There's a very
it's kind of on his opponents too for just falling for it.
There's a very libertarian streak in sort of this format where the idea is oh, well, if my opponent lies, they'll develop a bad reputation and then people won't listen to their lies in the future, which just isn't true. That's not how that works.
No.
That what are you talking about? Gerry, you were a Magic pro for a while. How many Magic pros would you say have good or bad reputations, and how much did that matter in terms of the games being played against them?
Well, it's a weird scale where I would look at most of the people who are playing professionally now, and it's I've been around. I know a bunch of people. I've heard a bunch of stories. I know too much. I have seen and heard too much. So the people to me do not have good reputations. Now, there are plenty of other people involved in the community who are not as well connected or old as I am, and maybe do not know a lot of these things, and maybe in their mind, like the reputations are like slightly less gray or whatever. But yeah, there are people who it's widely known that their reputations are pretty bad. And I mean, for example, like cheaters continually to get away with cheats. And this is despite people knowing that they are shady. How is that possible? If everybody knows, how do they just keep getting away with it?
I think what this really gets to me is like, imagine you went all in poker and someone was like, "What's in your hand?" And then you didn't answer honestly. And they were like, "This has damaged our relationship."
Yeah.
What the hell are you talking about? What are you actually talking about?
That is effectively what this is. It's like all in pre. They're like, "What do you have?" You're like, "I have aces," obviously.
Yeah, like the idea that there is no conception of bluffing or hidden information in a game of Magic the Gathering is astonishing. It is astounding.
You're playing poker, you look at your cards, you're like, "Oh, well, I have aces, so I am going all in." If you believe them, you're probably a dummy.
I like just the concept of this is so alien to me. Like, I feel bad. I wonder if this guy got like genuinely, like his friends were like, "No, you got to apologize for that. You got to apologize for that, bro. You were such a dick." I feel bad. Anyway, just, critical support to this man, who I have not named because I frankly just don't trust my audience to not be shitty about this. Like, I don't want this to become like a bully thing, although frankly, the Twitter thread has already spiraled well into that. I was actually kind of surprised it was still up. But I don't know. I feel bad because I think that there is a lot of magic or a lot of magic in Magic. And jamming these incongruous parts together is awesome. I just feel bad that this guy is getting like such shit for this, while like genuine bad actors in the scene have never written one tweet apologizing, let alone 10. And because of those bad actors, everyone's like, "Oh, we got to police this guy who's like clearly just like a nice guy who's like actually feels bad." And those bad actors have caused this crackdown on the exact wrong person.
Yeah, person is showing genuine remorse, and you're like, "Well, I guess I gotta dunk on him further or whatever." It's
yeah,
why? To what end?
The idea that this guy could like lose or poorly represent his team and sponsors and lose friendships over this it's just bonkers. And I understand that they exist in a game that fundamentally rewards kind of being a dick. That's what a competitive game is. Like, there are problems with that. But I don't think the solution to that is ostracizing anyone who lies to win a game where there is hidden information. That is the point of the hidden information. The misrepresentation of your range is your most valuable tool.
You want some bad news?
Sure. Is it that Noah Rabin 3-5'd?
He went 2-6, actually.
Damn it! That's worse.
Which is funny to me because it means even at 2-5, when he was eliminated, he stuck it out and played the last round and then lost. Get out.
I mean, he never said get out and join us on this podcast, Noah. You have an open invitation to be the third mic on this podcast.
No, maybe now this frees him up to join the lawsuit against Hasbro.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know.
Is it just like normal Magic? Like there's this thing that'll happen is like Magic players will see like a business headline and be like, "This is meaningful to me," and then nothing will change. And this sort of feels like that.
No, like, I think it is another one of those because I don't know who's involved or like, what their accolades are or whatever, but you're telling me that random sampling of the Magic community taking on Hasbro's lawyers has a shot. I'll take the under.
Don't they famously have dog shit lawyers? Isn't that like their whole deal?
No.
Oh.
No, Hasbro's lawyers are primo. That's why I was thinking, well, maybe with Noah Rabin on the other side, they would have a shot.
Right. Yeah, they got to recruit. Yeah, I mean, that honest to God, this guy gave a larger apology for lying in a CEDH game than and a more heartfelt and meaningful apology that Noah Rabin gave
Not close.
for 4 years, I want to say, of doing what he was
No.
doing. More?
Like 15 years.
15 years of like unfair judging, corruption, and general cheating.
And basically stealing a Pro Tour invite from a child.
Kid?
Yeah. That was like the inciting incident.
I didn't realize it was a...
Well, it was like maybe like a 20-something or whatever.
Okay,
like
that's not a child. No bullshit, dude.
It could have been a 13-year-old. I don't actually know who it was. I just, I know that
you can't go around here calling 20-year-olds children. We did the Arrested Development.
I'm 41. It is a child.
Bullshit. That is absolute bullshit.
It's a baby, KM.
Dude.
Just stopped breastfeeding not that long ago.
Absolute crap. Absolute garbage. Just call him a Zoomer. Still a PT invite from a Zoomer. That's one thing.
Well, that sounds less bad. It sounds like that's deserved. More accurate. If I say it like that.
yeah, actually, critical support to Noah Rabin. Critical support to the boomers, baby. Let's by any means necessary.
Dude, we need it. We need it. Hook it up. No, this Noah Rabin did the like, I think you played an extra land, which was maybe just crazy make 'em ups, and then said that too many game actions had taken place the turn for him or his opponent or the judge to reasonably discern whether or not it was actually true or false. Therefore, you must game loss the child. This infant, this toddler.
Asking a literal baby how many game rules violations they
Yes.
had?
Gaga goo goo. That sounds like you said 2.
Oh man, it'd be a shame if you got a third one.
Yeah.
By any
Rabins I'll give you a
necessary.
Piece of candy if you get a third game rules violation.
I don't even know if he would give the candy out. That seems like low.
No, he wouldn't.
Yeah, it'd be like
it'd be another mnemonic betrayal kind of situation. The toddler believed Noah Rabin that he would give him candy. What a moron!
Yeah, I don't know. I do feel like that's like much like I feel like we're losing 2 goats of this podcast at the same time. Like Eric Adams out, Noah Rabin no longer on the Pro Tour.
The upside is that
the world is better, but like shut up.
There's like a bottomless well of comical idiots in the world, as it turns out.
There's an infinite number of Alex Bertoncinis. There's just like a factory.
Also true.
It's just pumping them out somewhere. I showed you the music. I showed you the rap video he did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I had already seen it. But
okay. I wasn't sure because it's just the kind of thing where it's like I would expect you to have seen it, but you have an incredible ability to have not seen things that I would have expected you to see.
Yeah.
You do that a lot. But yeah, like that.
Yeah, like I have not heard any Taylor Swift songs except for like 3 that were so popular that I could not escape them.
I'm going to try to guess the 3. 22 has to be one of them.
Yep.
Style? We never go
no
out.
Idea.
Really? Wow. Trouble?
Yes. It might only be those 2.
I was gonna guess Blank Space.
I've heard the name, but I don't know what the song is. I don't think that I've ever heard it.
Really? Interesting.
I remember people talking about the song a lot.
Okay. Well, I do think I kind of nailed like the era because you wouldn't have heard anything like post 2019. I don't think. I think you would have heard stuff on Red in 1989, and that's it. That would be my guess.
Sounds right.
Yep. Anyway, that all makes sense to me. I'm a big fan of Trouble. It's a really good song. I think that all my goats are washed, right? Noah Rabin's out. Eric Adams is out. Taylor Swift is making songs about Travis Kelce's gigantic. Can I put that on YouTube? I don't know, man.
Sure. You can do whatever you want, man.
So I imagine someone listening to this in the car with their kid.
If you are, I don't know, maybe don't. Read a parenting book.
Millennial, like dirtbag Taylor Swift, where instead of comparing Travis Kelce's genitals to a redwood, they're compared to a Red Bull can.
Well, one of those, no, that's when her boyfriend cheats on her.
Right, it's like one of the small
Red Bull cans. To a Red Bull can.
Yeah, it's like one of the like 4-pack Red Bulls. It's like,
yeah.
They called my boyfriend 5 Hour Energy, but it's not for the reason you think.
Yep, there you go.
I don't know. I might have to put my first ever censorship like bleep on that one. Yeah, but I do like. Actually, can you give me like a burp sound so I can like use that? It didn't come through. Louder.
My microphone's too good.
Yeah, be louder. Oh no, yeah, I only got like a little bit of that. That's crazy. Your microphone actually is too good. I'll have to just loop the little bit that I got and see if that works. But yeah, that's the end of the podcast. I hope you enjoyed that, the visual image of all my goats being washed. Shame. One day Taylor Swift will release. One day Taylor Swift will release a new album, but I don't know if we'll ever get anyone as incredible as Noah or Eric. I really wonder.